often, shall we? So if you're listening to the playlist Saturdays Are for Yoga, then you can get that up on your playlist. You don't have to, but you can if you are. I'll just quickly copy and drop it into the chat as well. Share, there we go, copy, drop it in. Saturdays Are for Yoga on Spotify. It's in the chat for those of you that want to listen along as we play. I was about to say, as we move. This morning's practice is energizing. It's going to be energizing. We're going to have fun. Yeah, layers will come off, I'm sure. Let's enjoy our practice. Let's start our Saturday with a bit of a boom. We're going to go into the darkness of November soon. So let's enjoy a bit of uplift and lightness now that the sun's come out to play as well. So we'll start our playlist together in 3, 2, 1, play. There's no rush to get that, by the way. No rush to get that playlist on the exact moment. Just let the sounds roll if you want them. It's more to have that feeling of sound in the background, that sense of something playing in the background. So come to your practice space, grab a couple of blocks, bring them with you. Let's just start in downward facing dog. I say just, let's start in downward facing dog. Pushing the heart back towards the thighs. Letting the head hang heavy. Maybe we take a little pedal out through the heels. As you breathe, as you just let the body start to navigate the space that you are occupying this morning for your practice. And I know that we're all coming in from different places, spaces. Some of us are taking off kids for the hour that we've got to be here or want to be here for. Some of us are getting ready for a day ahead, maybe of work, maybe of busy to-do lists, lots of things happening, adventures, socials, maybe some Halloween parties in the mix. So whatever it is that your day has consisted of so far and will do, just see if for a moment you can become really, really focused on how the body is feeling in this shape. Of course, there's stuff around you, there's stuff that will be waiting for you after practice, but for the moment we're here together, for the moments that we're here together, can we just be so preoccupied with our own sensation, our own body? And we'll gently walk the hands back towards the feet, taking time, slow, steady, swaying the hips from left to right. And as you come to the back, let your head be heavy. Your arms dangle. And finding that forward fold at the back of your mat. That feeling of spaciousness in the back body. Your vessel start to remember where you are, start to notice where you are now. And with a heavy head and upper body, unravel the spine, come up to the top. Shrug the shoulders at the top, up, back, and down. And then maybe you take an arm sweep as well. Arms can come up all the way round, back behind you. Clasp the hands together, push the knuckles down and away. This first one, no forward fold. Just open across the chest. Hands can come away from the bum. And you might just sway the body left to right. And I'm releasing the hands, slowing down the sway. Reach the hands up overhead. Catch your left wrist with your right hand and lean to the right hand side. Feel the left side body open. Ear towards shoulder. And come back through to the center, switch the grip. Go the other way. And coming back through to the center, chin to chest, arms heavy, roll forwards again. Soften your knees, curl the spine. Let the body come all the way down towards the mat. And as the hands start to arrive on the mat, walk your hands forwards, downward facing dog. Press into your hands, push your heart back towards the thighs. And focus on the neck now. So just letting the head be heavy. Just turn the face from left to right. Noticing the little stretch or big stretch down the sides of the neck towards the ears, towards the tops of the shoulders. Feeling into that space, noticing sensation. And then on your next breath in, roll forwards, find plank. As you exhale, slowly lower to the floor. So you can lower the knees first or the whole body in one line. Find a back bend that feels good to you. Take a breath. And as you exhale, roll down. We're coming into broken wing on the right side. So either arm straight out or bend your elbow, palm to the floor. Bend your left knee, push in, roll across. As your foot starts to come over, feel the stretch. Take a deep breath in. Maybe your left arm comes up. Maybe your left arm wraps around. Long exhale. As you inhale, come back through to the center. Same thing on the other side. Yeah, so it's not really a pit stop. It's just an opening. I say just again. I keep saying just. It's an opening. Step your right foot up and over. Same thing. Maybe you wrap your right arm. Maybe you don't. You don't need to. You might want to. Nice. Roll back onto your belly. Hands next to shoulder. Squeeze your bum, push into the tops of the feet. Back bend again. Baby back bend, bigger back bend, whatever feels good. Exhale, downward facing dog. Tuck the toes, hips up, hips back. Take a moment, pedal out through the heels. Feel the stretch. And start to walk your hands back towards your feet. Forward fold, peace fingers wrap around big toes. Doesn't matter how much you need to bend your knees for this one. Bend away, okay? Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, bend your elbows out to the side, head and heart towards the legs. Deepen the inhale and exhale. Breathe. And slowly release the toes. Heavy upper body as you unravel the spine. Shrug shoulders at the top, up, back and down. Arm sweep at the top, up, back, round. Nice. Bring the hands above the head again. Hold the left wrist with the right hand, draw up, lean across to the right, and then turn your eye gaze down towards the floor. So just very subtly, or maybe quite majorly actually, change the sensation as you look, changing where the ligaments and tendons are placed in the body. Come back to the center, release and switch. Lift up, inhale. Exhale, lean to the left. Look down to the left armpit or towards the floor underneath your left armpit. Come back to the center. Release the hands back behind you. Lace the fingers together. Push the knuckles down and away. Inhale. Exhale, bend your knees and fold this time. Knuckles over the head. Maybe now we've opened a little bit across the chest. This feels more accessible than maybe it did before. Or maybe there's more ability to just move and just bob the hands up and over the head a bit. Yeah, pressure turns on, turns off. Yeah, release the hands as you look up a little way. Walk the hands forwards for downward facing dog. Feel the difference in the shoulders now as you press the ground away. Yeah, maybe more space, maybe more freedom, maybe more warmth and tingling, sense of prana in the shoulders. Inhale, roll forwards, plank. Exhale, chaturanga, move to the earth. Inhale, back bend. Exhale, roll down, broken wing on the right side. If you kept the arm straight before, bend the elbow. If you kept the arm bent before, straighten the arm. Just see, yeah, where do you get more sensation? Have a little explore. Wrap the left arm behind you as you step the left foot up and over. Release the hand down to support you, to roll back onto your belly. Same thing on the left side. You can do the same thing twice. Yeah, it doesn't matter. Just figuring out what makes the body feel the space, the stretch, opening the body. Nice. Come back onto your belly. Hands next to shoulders. Inhale, back bend. Exhale, down dog. Pedal out the heels. Feel the stretch. Right leg to the sky. You can step your left foot into the center of the mat if that feels good. Right leg up. Bend the right knee. Heel towards the bum. As you flip the body a little bit, so you're stacking the right hip on top of the left. I want you to hold here for a moment. We will flip our dog, but to begin with, I just want you here, opening the hip, finding the balance, popping up onto right fingertips. Noticing where your drishti, your eye gaze goes, how much you're pressing through that left arm. Okay, roll the right foot up and over, wild thing. That feels good. Squeeze the bum, push the hips high. Leaning back with the head and the heart as if you're trying to search for the floor beneath you. And then we'll flip it back all the way around, right hand down. Step right foot to the right outer edge of the hand. Looking to the top edge of the mat, turn the right toes out. Little movement, little bounce forwards, backwards. Feel the space in the pelvis. And then lower the left knee, rolling the right thigh out. Crawl away from the right leg. Okay, so it's like your hands are trying to get away from the right foot. At the same time, the right thigh is actually still rolling to the right-hand side as well. So you're moving to the left with your torso and your arms. The thigh's moving away. Take another deep breath in. Another long exhale. Walk through to the center, bend your back knee, catch your foot with your hand, or if you haven't got a strap, you can use something different if you've got it nearby. If you haven't got a strap or anything like it nearby, then reach back. So here is great. Okay, here is great. Using a strap is great. What feels good to you? What have you got available in your toolkit right now? Physical tools to help assist in practice. Pull the foot towards the bum, push the foot back. Nice. Release the foot down to the floor. Shift your weight backwards, find your half split, pulling your right toes up. And then curl your left toes under. So this is where you may want blocks, okay? Your hands are to the inside of your foot. You're gonna elevate your back knee. So kind of in a pyramid stretch, pyramid fold. Hands are to the inside of the right foot. Okay, and back knee is elevated. Right toes are off the ground. See what happens when you try and put them back down. See what happens when you try and point the toes, press the toes to the floor. Yeah, deepen the inhale, deepen the exhale. Push hands into ground. Nice. From here, bend your right knee, shift the weight forward, spin on your left foot until you're on the heel of the foot. Skandasana, right elbow to inside of knee, left hand to the sky, big opening here. Yeah, let the hips drop towards the earth. Let there be space there. Breathe into the belly. Feel the opening in the body. And then from here, left hand down, right toes point to the front of the mat, right hand high, spin, revolved twist. Okay, so lots of spinning, twisting, turning. Pull the right sit bone back and right sit bone down. So back and down with the right bum cheek. Roll onto the little toe edge of the left foot, step your right foot back on top of left, side plank. Push your right hip higher. Good. Right hand down, right knee behind right wrist, shin down. Up onto the fingertips for this one. Push into the right foot, push into the top of the left foot. Feel activation through your left leg. So as you push your left foot down, it should be as if you can almost, or maybe you actually can, lift your left knee off the ground. So the top of the left foot's down, the toes are pushing in. The left knee and thigh might be elevating. You might walk the hands further up onto the right leg if you feel balanced enough. Lifting the chin. Push into the top of the left foot. Keep pushing. Keep pushing. And then slow it down. Walk the hands forwards. Tuck the left toes. Step back plank. Move through your flow. Finding a lovely back bend that feels good for your spine, but also equally good for front body. Down dog. Right foot step center. Left leg comes up. Bend left knee, roll left hip open. First of all, be in the balance of this. Heel towards bum, light in left fingertips or light in left hand, sorry, so fingertips only. Push into the right hand. Spin slowly or suddenly, it might be, as you come down to earth with the left foot, wild thing. Flipping dog. That flipping dog. Take another deep breath in. Exhale, step the left foot wide, lizard lunge, and at first, back knee stays up. So you can just get into the hips a little bit more. Back knee is elevated, bob up and down. Turn left toes out, right knee down, left thigh away,
right hands or right hands over to the right. Away from your left leg. Breathe. Feel the space. And slowly pulling the hands back in. Right hand stays grounded. Left hand reaches up and back as you spin. Maybe you're catching the right foot. Maybe. Deepen the breath. And you push the foot back into the hand at the same time as the foot's coming towards the bum. Because pulling the foot in, yes, it does intensify the stretch to a degree. What makes stretching more intense, though, is when we actually add resistance. Yeah, when we activate the muscle. Most things will just go if you push them. So if we add a little bit of resistance, we start to have this deeper sensation, more of a true sensation, really. And get more into our mobility than just flexibility. Release the back foot to the floor, curl the toes under, stretch backwards, left heel to the floor, hands to the inside of your left foot. Pick up the back knee, straightening both legs. Don't worry if the right heel doesn't come down. You're just on the left heel, left toes pointing up. Deepening the inhale, deepening the exhale. You can see if you can try and point the left toes, bring the left foot down. Notice how that stretches through the front of the ankle. Keep pressing into your hands, push. Left toes peel up. Bend the left knee, walk the hands forward, spin onto the right heel here. Okay, Skandasana, left elbow to inside of knee. Right hand lifts and elevates. Find that lovely stretch and space through the right side body even. Breathe. Your right hand's coming down. We're going to spin into lunge. So right hand down. Back knee off the ground. As you elevate left fingertips, pull the left hip down and back. Breathing here. Pressing here. Push into the right hand even more. Keep strong in this space. We're going to roll to the little toe edge of the right foot, side plank, left hand high. Stack the left foot on top of the right. Feel the strength here. Keep pressing, keep lifting your left hip. Squeeze the bum. Left hand down, left knee behind left wrist. Pigeon stretch. Yeah, really elevating the chest though. We're not going to drop forwards unless, of course, the spine is impinged and is feeling pain. Then, of course, drop forwards. But if we're all good here, try and keep the top of the right foot down. Try and elevate the left knee by pushing into it. And of course, you might walk hands back. Keep active in that back leg. So it's not a passive component of this pose, although sometimes it can be seen as that. We're trying to keep whatever we're not looking at active as well, fired up. Walk the hands forwards. Tuck the right toes. Elevate back, downward facing dog. Inhale forwards to plank. Exhale. Inhale. Pick child's pose. Big toes touch. Forehead to the floor. Forearms, elbows, hands down. Take a moment to breathe. Now, if you're not with a wall behind you right now and you think you might want one for turning upside down, just gently take yourself to child's pose in front of that wall. Just flipping and shifting the perspective. Yeah, so taking that little break from the normal way of the head and heart being above the hips and switching it round. During our practice, not saving it for the end. As you inhale, lift the head, lift the heart. Walk your elbows and your hands closer together. Lace your hands together so you create this lovely little closed hand thing here. Place the hands down, keep wriggling the elbows closer. Head standing in a different way today. So even if you do usually headstand and it feels good, this is going to be a little different. Trying to keep the neck from compression and trying to keep the head away from the floor. Turn the top of the head down, onto the arms, push down, push into the tops of the feet so you can elevate the knees and lift the feet. And then taking one leg to the sky. Now you can't see that top leg, but that's why it's so important that that leg is strong, just like we were just now in pigeon. The leg you can't see, let it be strong. Maybe your left toes lift. Now, please bear in mind right now, my head is not on the floor. It's resting on my arms. There's an opportunity here for me to practice my push. And there's an opportunity here for me to stay away from neck compression. Of course, it's more of a challenge. Yeah, it's much more of a challenge. But have a go. And the thing is, you can do all of this without even lifting the feet off the ground. Yeah, you can still do the setup. Even those of us that don't like inversions, try not to hop. Yeah, because if we start to jump up, we don't really find where our true balance is. And before we know it, we're already up. Push down into your elbows and arms. You should feel like this is really super strong. It's a lot on the shoulders. Okay, nice, everyone. Keep pressing, keep pushing. Beautiful. 5 more breaths. Yes, if you're up, if you've been up and you pushed off of one leg, you could either switch legs or stay the same, give it another go. Yeah, see if you can find that floating. And if you have got the wall behind you and you feel like you're able to, you can even push hard into your elbows, lift your head off your arms and look forwards, as if you're turning it, well, it's not as if, you'd be turning it into pincher. Yeah, that way you're turning it into pincher. So have a play with that too, especially if the wall's behind you, because worst case scenario, your foot touches the wall, okay? But you get that feeling of press and looking forward. That's all it is, literally this. Push and look. You might come down from the pose, that's okay too. Last couple of breaths. Breathe. More opportunity on this later, especially the press to pinch a bit, okay? Yes, nice. Beautiful. Pushing down through the elbows. Come back and sit on the heels. Walk the hands back. Come up. Roll the shoulders. Drop left ear, left shoulder. Chin to chest and rolls all the way through. Right ear up to right shoulder. All the way through. Lift chin away from chest. Come up onto your knees, curl your toes under. You might come a little more central to the mat here. As you start to bring your hands to your lower back or lower ribs, squeeze your bum, engage your thighs and press your hips forward. Forwards, forwards, forwards. Head might drop back. You might go back, back, back. You might drop hands to heels, okay? And hands to heels, hips can go forwards. Yeah, so Ustrasana, camel pose. Hands can stay on the back the whole time. This is still the pose. Okay, you don't have to drop the head back. Go where feels good for your body. If your head is back, let your chin really be up towards the sky. Throat exposed. Squeeze the bum. Nice. Slowly, use the strength of your core, hands to the back as you come up. Rise up if your hands are on the heels, untuck the feet. Come and sit back onto the heels. Take a moment, rest your palms on your thighs, or your hands on your thighs, palms face up. Breathe for a moment here. One more round, Ustrasana. Come up, tuck toes. Squeeze bum before your hands even come to your lower back, before you move anywhere. Engage legs, engage bum. Push hips forwards. Sneak your right hand down towards right heel. Left arm reaches up and back. Look for the left fingertips for the thumb, if that feels okay on the neck. If it doesn't, keep the chin slightly tucked or look to the ceiling. Come up, hands to back. Switch sides. Squeeze the bum, push your hips forwards, then reach your left hand down, then reach your right hand back. Look for the fingertips. Slowly come up, hands to back. All the way to the top. Untuck your toes, sit back onto the heels. This time palms face down on the knees. Little bit of kneeling cat and cow. Inhale, exhale. Yeah, a little bit more movement through the spine. It's fun when little ones come and do yoga with us, isn't it? Really adds something to the experience. Take a few breaths as you move. Maybe you rotate the body so you can get some freedom in the lower back. Yeah, so we're moving a couple of times in one direction. We'll go back the other way. And then we'll slowly release the hands to the mat in front of our knees. Tuck toes, lift thumb, walk hands back, forward fold. So completely coming out of the back bend, neutralizing it almost. A little sway side to side, a little bob up and down. And then slowly walk forwards, downward facing dog. Spread the hands, push into the mat. Step your left foot more central. Right foot elevates, bend the knee, open the hip. Again, hold for a moment, breathe here. Feel the balance, pop up onto your right fingertips. So you're not just dropping the leg straight over to get out of the pose. You are slowly going to step the right foot up and over, wild thing. For those of you that want to go there, wild thing to wheel for those of you that want to go there. So reach the right hand back. If you've got a block nearby, what can be really cool is to take the block in your right hand, even before you do wild thing. Sorry, I should have cued you to do this. Even before you do wild thing. So you can grab it now and start again. And then use the right block or the right hand with the block in it to try and tap the floor. Yeah, this will give you an extension of your arm and start to make it feel a little bit more likely that you'll end up bringing that right hand to the floor because you can feel resistance with the hand, with the block. Nice. If you've got wild thing to wheel, go for it. Go for it and breathe. Couple of breaths in wheel pose. Keep dropping the head back. That's it. Nice. Keep looking back. Yes. Find your wheel, breathe there. Nice. Slow and steady. Come up and out. Step the right foot to the right hand, or where it would be. Turn the right toes out. We're going to find our lizard lunge straight away. Reaching back for the foot. Lizard lunge, twist. Yeah. Lizard lunge and twist. Nice. Pull the heel in. Big stretch to that left hip flexor. And release the foot down. Turn the right toe slightly forwards, but don't wriggle the foot in. Okay, so keep the width there so that you've got space for your hips in this one. Drop your right shoulder to the inside of your right knee. And you kind of want to get your shoulder as if it's coming below the knee. Yeah, you're going to try and wriggle the arms out wide. Obviously, Halloween's coming, so if we didn't do witch flying on our broomstick, what would this even be? Who would I really be? Tuck the left toes, lift the back knee off the floor. Okay, as you do this, you're bending your right knee, you're in a lunge position, okay? You can release the hands out so you can fly, yeah? Or you might find a bind. You might find a bind. So right hand wraps, left hand grabs. Keep rolling your left shoulder and left hip down. Keep looking down at the inside of your foot. What you're trying not to do is open up into bound side angle, which is very likely to happen. A, because it's the automatic pose we come into, and B, because it makes it a little easier on the body to open that way. So don't bind if you start to open to the side. Nice, find that balance, find that flight. Come down and let the body sink to the inside of the right leg. Okay, so take a moment, you might even bring blocks in underneath forearms. You may do, you may not. Depends on what feels good. Try and hug your right thigh in. So if you're on your elbows and that's impossible, walk up onto your hands. Hug your right thigh in, push the big toe mound down into the mat. Big stretch through left hip flexor. From here, keep the hands where they are, but shift the weight backwards so you can get that half split. Back toes are tucked. If they're not, we tuck them now. You can slide the blocks back as we elevate back leg. Bring them onto the highest setting if that feels good. Looking forwards, pulling the right hip back and down. Yeah, feeling into this pose. It's about to get fun. It's about to get flighty, okay? Turn the blocks onto the lowest setting. Place your hands on them and grip them like this, okay? So your hands are wrapped around the block. You're gripping the top end of the block as you do this. Push down into the block. If you haven't got blocks, hands on the floor is fine. Right leg to the sky, big breath in. Now, rearrange the blocks, bring them closer in if that feels good. You're going to bring the right knee to right elbow, look forwards. Either hook the right knee on top of the right elbow on the top fleshy part of the arm. So above the elbow here, tricep. Okay, and you can keep the foot hovering, leaning forwards. You can do that a few times or hold. Obviously, you know where we're going to go. Some of you that know this pose, flying split, right knee up high, left elbow into belly, looking forwards. I'm gripping the block so that my head has a bit more space between the floor. Okay, and maybe you do some weird spinny thing that I just did. Kick the right foot forwards. Have a play with witch flying on, no broomstick, just flying. So have a play with flying splits if that feels good. If it doesn't feel good, you'll still come back here. Try some knee to elbows, sit and watch as someone else does it. Have a play. Nice. Lovely. Cool. As if Felicity, look forwards. Look forwards, lift your chin. Lift your chin, like in Ustrasana, like back bending. Think back bending. Yeah. Yes. Nice. Lovely. Take it back. Move the blocks to one side, but have them nearby because we're going to use them from down dog, maybe in our down dog to wild thing, okay? Step your right foot center to the mat, left leg rises, bend left knee, roll hip open. Be there for a moment. Spin, grab your block, take it with you. Wild thing, drop the foot down. Wild thing to wheel, or like you're trying to touch the floor with your block. Yeah, it doesn't have to be such a firm touchdown that you feel loads of resistance, but you might get a bit closer. Plus, the like 0.1 kilos that this weighs, like the 10 grams or whatever it weighs, will actually help to elongate your front body. Yeah, to stretch through your psoas, your belly even further. Step your left foot forwards. Slowly. Lizard. I've now just assumed the position of the blocks under the hands. You could do the same. Bend right knee. Left hand back to catch right foot. Maybe. Remember, you don't have to actually have the foot in the hand. It's an option. Come forwards, hands to the floor. Blocks to one side for a moment. As you start to drop your left shoulder to the inside of your left knee, your left toes point forward, straight ahead. Drop your head, heart, body down. Breathe. Arms out wide, underneath, left shoulder underneath, left leg. Fingertips to the floor, curl your right toes under, lift your right knee. Now watch what will happen. You'll try and spin your right heel down. Try to keep your right heel lifted. If anything, try and push your right sit bone and hip over to the right. As you wrap left arm, maybe. As you wrap right arm, maybe, to find a bind. Yeah, if you don't find a bind, that's fine as well. You can still fly arms wide without the bind. Keep your eye gaze, your drishti down at the floor. Nice. Good, lovely. Find that balance. Drop and roll your right hip forwards. Stop, drop, roll and stroll. Releasing the bind. Come down with the hands. Blocks. Straighten. Left leg. Okay, find that half split. Pick up the back knee. Lengthen. Okay, as you start to find this stretch, push your right heel back, left toes lift even higher. Breathe. And then from here, we bend the left knee, step back into three-legged dog. Again, you might shorten the distance between the blocks and the feet. Left knee is coming up to left tricep, that juicy, muscly part of the arm. Look forwards, tip forwards. Using the blocks under the hands, for those of you that practice this pose without them usually, this does give you an advantage, okay? It gives you the advantage that you can push a little easier than you do on flat palms. You can grip more, which gives you more strength rather than having to push against your wrist. And you're further away from the floor, so you're less likely to face plant. Okay, you might actually get more air time because your chin or your nose isn't on the ground. Yeah, so have a go if you're not in the full flying splits or
flying without a broomstick witch, as we'll call it. Yeah, you can tap knee to elbow. That's good too. Yeah. Nice. Lovely. Nice, Amy. Look forwards, travel forwards, 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 chin away from chest. Think back bend. Everyone think back bend. Maybe you just lay down on your belly for a moment. Nice. Well done, everyone. Come and sit back to your heels. Pause for a moment here. Actually, bring the big toes to touch, child's pose. And again, if you're not with a wall and you want to be, same thing as before, except this time a little bit more focus of coming into pincher, okay? So come to child's pose. Pause for a moment. Take rest. Elevate the head, the heart. Walk the hands closer together so you can lace them. Walk the elbows really close together. The elbows are so close together, it's almost uncomfortable to be in that shape. Okay, this is because as we come up and load the arms with body weight, generally what tends to happen is the elbows try and escape to the left and right. They slide out. When that happens, it gives us less of a stable shoulder mounted position. We want our shoulders to be loaded because the shoulders are much stronger than our rotator cuffs, than our elbow joints, than our wrist joints, than our arm muscles, okay? Shoulders are a huge area of tissue muscle and they recruit really well. So they'll recruit the traps, they'll recruit the lats, they'll recruit down the back of the body, so either side of the spine. They will pull and recruit on the chest and the arm tissue as well, and the muscles there if needs be. But they have this mass of strength to call upon, whereas the arm muscles are just the arm muscles, biceps, triceps. Yeah, this is great. If they're really strong, great, but actually they're not as reliable and they're not as resilient. They haven't got as much endurance as the shoulders. Plus, it's a joint. So actually, if you get the sweet spot of balance, you're balancing and putting your weight through stacked joints. Excellent. Yeah, they're not going to fail you. Yeah. Clasp the hands together. Push the knuckles down. Push the little finger, down. Knuckles face forward. Tops of your head to the arms. Tuck your toes. Elevate your knees. Walk the feet in, push down, elevate one leg. Have a play around with maybe lifting. Yeah. If you are lifting, you're looking forwards. The aim here, so you're looking down, or back behind you. The aim here is to push down, elevate your head off the arms and look forwards. Pincher, forearm stand. Why is that the aim? I hear you ask. Because we're trying to come away from pressure in the neck in our practice as much as we can, as often as we can. Nice. Push down, push down, push down. There's no let up in a headstand ever. Yeah, there's no break for a rest in the shoulders unless the feet are on the floor. So at all times when we're in a headstand or pincher, we're completely active. We're totally involved. Yeah. And afterwards, this type of inverting will feel exhausting, most likely. Yeah, nice. Push, push, push. Good. If you come down, you're a bit out of breath and you just need a moment, you can sit back in child's pose, take a pause. If you're in your dolphin pose, if you're not actually lifting the legs, that's cool as well, but definitely take a pause, take a rest. Breathe just a little deeper. Let's go for 5 more breaths here. Nice ease, good, big push down. Feeling that lovely length and strength. Nice. Come back to sit to child's pose for a moment.
Forehead to the floor. Just breathe into the back body. You might still want the wall for this next bit, okay? You may still want to use the wall for wheel pose, for camel to wheel pose. You may want blocks to push up against the wall so that you can lift into wheel with a different sensation. This is great for those of us working on wrist mobility.
Slowly come up. So you have a few options, okay? You can come into wheel pose, Urdhva Dhanurasana, usually as you do, laying on your back, knees bent, hands above shoulders for pressing onto top of head, and then all the way up, okay? When you get there though, the art of change or increasing our capacity through practice and changing what our practice actually feels like is through changing the variables. So if you always come into wheel pose, but it's always for kind of a similar length of time because I'm always teaching it for the same amount of time, then the intention today is to stay for longer, is to invest more time in that pose, okay? So you may wish to come into wheel pose first. For some people, I know you're working on drop backs, and drop backs can be done from standing or kneeling, actually. So we're going to work on the kneeling one because the standing one is a much longer way to the ground than kneeling. And we've already been in camel pose, so actually we're already quite familiar with it. You're really welcome to also stay with camel pose if that felt good and try the variations with opposite hand lift. But equally, it's about time. Let's increase our bandwidth, our capacity for length of time in a pose, because if you can do something, even if you can pop up into it and you can feel the sensation you're on straight away, amazing. It just takes a moment or a few moments really for the body, as we know from yin practice, to really feel all the components of what that pose is doing, to really get all the benefits. So squeeze the bum, push the hips forwards, start to tip back. This is for those of you wanting to go to camel to drop back, okay? And I know some of you will. If the wall is behind you, you could use the wall for wall taps. Yes, you could reach back so you can tap the wall, and you could keep doing that. And you might keep tapping the same place. You might each time tap a little lower. So you can come up, take a moment to breathe, and then go again. Toes have to be tucked for this one. They have to be tucked, yeah? You have to be ready, because how would your feet be in wheel pose? One of my favorite things about doing this is to imagine all stages of it. There's going to be a moment where I feel like I'm free falling. There's going to be a moment where I feel like it's all loaded in my legs because I'm leaning back to the absolute brink of where I can go to. And there's going to be the moment while I'm in actual wheel pose. What does that look like in my body? Well, my feet are flat, my hands are down, my head is free. Okay, so squeezing the bum, pushing the hips forward, squeezing the bum, pushing the hips forward, looking back. I like to wait for the last minute before I release my hands, and then I can push my hips up, hands to the earth. And then I can be here for as long as I want to be. I can come down this way. I don't have to flip myself back up to camel pose, okay? And then if I'm on the floor here, there's a lot of stuff that when I come down, if I feel like I've maxed out my time for that moment, there's a lot of stuff I could do here. So I could come into bridge, supported bridge with a block, or I could press from the ground into wheel and see how it feels different, okay? So even if you do camel drop back, know that you don't just have to do that. You can also then play around from that space with other back bending. Nice. Push Felicity, push into those blocks. Get her head off the floor. You know you can. You might have to lengthen the distance between feet and hands. Nice, Amy. So lift your hips, that's it, even more. Squeeze the bum. Good, yeah, really active. Nice, nice, Eve. Good, big push. Squeezing the bum, engaging, finding space through the whole body. Even if your feet have to come further away from your hands, yeah, think about the spine and how often it does the depth of this. Nice, Nicola, good. Wall drop backs. We're practicing where we feel good, yeah. Squeeze, push through the legs, squeeze. Push away from the wall. So what will happen with the bricks against the wall sometimes is it's like we're trying to get our head towards the wall. That's not the case. You're trying to get your face away from the wall. Okay. Nice, finding your back bend. There's variables in wheel. If you feel like you've got a strong wheel pose and you're like, yeah, I feel great here, why don't you wriggle the feet closer together and practice lifting one leg into the sky? So you have a three-pronged base, if you will. Then you're challenging balance in a back bend. Nice. You can do that in bridge as well, by the way. You can have your hands clasped underneath you. Yeah, nice, Anna, good reach, good. Squeeze the bum, push the hips forwards, push the hips forwards. Good, lovely, really nice. And that's it, nice, Felicity, good. Push into that right heel, elevate the hips, good. Feel the strength, nice. That's it. Nice, Amy, really nice. Nice. Nice three-legged things happening, or one-legged thing, really. Beautiful. Last couple of breaths, guys, in your wheel or bridge or camel or whatever it is that you're doing. As you come down, all props from beneath you, go. Arms can come out wide, palms face up. Yeah, it's a bit like when we were on our front for our broken wing pose. We're now like that, except on our back. So the palms of the hands and the front of the arms is facing up. Drop the knees to the right hand side. Nice twist. You can make this twist what you need it to be. Straighten the top leg, catching the outside of it, bringing the knees up higher, lower. Cat pulling its tail, so bottom knee bends, catching the right foot with the left hand, left foot with right hand. Going over to the other side, slow and steady, no rush. And again, finding a twist that feels good to you. Coming back to the center, elbows to inside of knees, hands either around outside edges of feet or peace fingers, hook big toe, soles of the feet to the sky. Happy baby. And breathe. Maybe you rock side to side, maybe you stay in complete stillness, just pressing the tailbone down and down. And then bring the feet together, extending the legs as much as feels available to you. So straightening out the legs, keeping grip of the foot or the toe or the ankles or the calves. You've got a strap and that feels better to use, then use that. Push tailbone down, lengthen. And bend knees. Soles of feet together as your feet come to the earth. Arms in cactus. Back of head heavy. Pause in for a moment here. And just let the breath start to move with a rhythm that begins to slow the heart rate. Bringing the nervous system down. And slowly slide the hands underneath the thighs, bringing them together. And then slowly from here, straightening the legs out wide as you start to find your way into Shavasana. Arms and legs out wide, closing the eyes. Turn the palms to face up. Let the toes drop out to the side. Big deep breath in through the nose. And open the mouth, exhale. Let yourself just be here now in this moment. The next time you hear my voice, I'll be bringing you back around from this space of rest or pause. Until that moment, see if you can let yourself descend into softness. Deep breath. Allow yourself to breathe into that space right at the base of your spine. Let the belly soften as you allow the inhale and the exhale to enter and to leave. Start to wriggle the fingers, the toes, waking the body. And gently rise to seated in your own way, in your own timing, letting yourself just gently come back to the space. Hands together in prayer. Thumbs the third eye center. We'll seal our practice together this morning, going into the rest of our weekend with a bow of love, honor, respect, remembering that we are all connected. We are one. Namaste. Thank you. And happy Saturday, yogis. Thank you so much for being here and joining.